That's a simulation-heavy game historically, and I would say probably not there, which is probably going to upset a lot of people. But, you know, every single GTA game has been 30 FPS, sometimes struggling to hit 30 FPS. If they're pushing simulation just as hard in GTA 6, I'm not seeing anything in the PlayStation 5 Pro that's going to get you to 60 FPS if the base machine can't do it. If it can, happy days. You know, but if it can't...
Yeah, that does make me wonder, will GTA 6 move the needle for the Pro as much as I've thought it will? Because if it's not, I do wonder if people decide to make the jump, because that game will sell hardware, period. It is going to be the biggest cash cow for any console manufacturer that is able to support the title.
Yeah, I mean, they could have, like, you know...
The day he made that statement, I pushed back, but outlets like IGN and big YouTubers ran with it. Now, I see people in the comments saying, DF said this, and DF said that. And I see both sides using DF's words. Console gamers using it as a defense, and PC gamers using it as a weapon. But what people fail to understand, here are the biggest leaks and gaming news you probably missed this week. Real specs of PS5 Pro got leaked, and it's shockingly strong. Literally 2 to 3 times more RT performance, so like a RTX 4070 but with better RT. Here's the story. The full specs list came from ex-user Bruno Fast, who has seemingly got his hands on the console before its official release. The PS5 Pro sounds like a significant upgrade over the original PS5, especially in terms of performance improvements aimed at ray tracing and overall graphical fidelity. Here's a deeper look at what these leaked specs might mean. The jump to 16.7 teraflops from the original PS5's 10 teraflops means the PS5 Pro's GPU has a major boost. This upgrade, paired with an unspecified RDNA architecture, likely RDNA 3 or a custom variant, puts the PS5 Pro's graphics capabilities in the range of an NVIDIA RTX 4070. If the leak holds, it should make for substantially better performance, especially in games with ray tracing enabled, where we're looking at potentially 2 to 3 times the ray tracing capability. The addition of 2 GB DDR5 alongside the standard GDDR6 for graphics may contribute to improved background operations and multitasking capabilities. It won't impact graphical performance directly, but will help with smoother system functionality overall. With promises of 2 to 3 times the ray tracing performance, this puts it in a similar ray tracing performance category as high-end PC cards, so like a RTX 4070 but with better RT. The increase to a 390-watt power supply, up from 350 watts, aligns with the GPU and CPU upgrades, suggesting a more power-hungry system overall. This power boost should help sustain high performance while potentially keeping the device cooler under heavy load. In a new post on Reset Era, user Modus highlights an important feature of the PlayStation 5 Pro. The user posted an image of the video output settings screen of the PlayStation 5 Pro, which has an option to enhance the image quality of PlayStation 4 games. While the PlayStation 5 Pro is due to release on November 7th, the user got the image from someone who got their hands on the console early. Additionally, it is also noted that players should turn this feature off if they experience unexpected behavior during gameplay. While the feature sounds quite enticing, it should be noted that it is only available for certain PlayStation 4 games. However, there is no information available right now on which games will support this feature. Fans have already started speculating about what games could support it, with Bloodborne, to no surprise, being one of the most popular choices. However, fans must have realistic expectations of the feature. As the post notes, it won't add a 60 FPS mode for Bloodborne, since that would require a new version of the game. However, what is possible is that it could significantly upscale the visuals. That's not the only additional feature that the PlayStation 5 Pro will add. Recently, it was also revealed that the PlayStation 5 will have an accessible CMOS battery slot. This would make it significantly easier for players to access the CMOS battery, which could contribute towards the long-term maintenance of the console. PlayStation CEOs have commented on the PlayStation 5 Pro's development time, and the period spent refining the enhanced console is longer than people think. Sony CEO Kenichiro Yoshida recently hired PlayStation veterans Herman Hulst and Hideaki Nishino to helm Sony Interactive Entertainment, since the pair have worked together for a long time, and they will tackle the PlayStation 5 Pro launch together. Nishino previously became head of product at SIE in 2016, advancing to lead the platform Experience Group in 2024, and Holst was the former boss at Guerrilla Games, the team behind the Horizon series. After a lengthy period circulating the rumor mill, the PlayStation 5 Pro was eventually announced in September 2024 via a technical presentation on PlayStation's YouTube channel. The high price tag quickly became a talking point within the gaming community, but the prospect of playing beloved games with the enhanced system's visuals won a lot of people over. Recently, the critically acclaimed Dungeons & Dragons-inspired RPG and 2023's Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3, was added to the PS5 Pro's list of enhanced titles, joining Lords of the Fallen and Helldivers 2. You'll notice the height is the same size as the original PS5, and the width is the same size as the current PS5 model to accommodate higher performance specs. Players can add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive or swap out console covers when they become available. So, Sony themselves set expectations that the PlayStation 5's covers would work on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Or did they? The wording on this announcement was not clear enough that consumers, and even the press, interpreted it in different ways. Redditor Zororo made a post on the PlayStation subreddit with accompanying pictures. We'll let them explain it in their words. I had some cobalt blue plates, so I decided to try them out on the Pro, and I can confirm the bottom plates match the Slim. However, the top plates do not match, because while they're physically the same size, the teeth that connect to the system are in slightly different places. So you can't connect the top part. I'm only telling you all this so y'all know, and don't bother ordering plates for the Slim to use on the Pro. Just to be clear, Zororo tried to use the PlayStation 5 Slim model covers on the PlayStation 5 Pro. As you can see in this store listing in PlayStation Direct, there is a single line across the front that separates that cover into two. So that's why Zororo thought that it could work. If we were honest about this is a comparatively minor issue. You don't need to have your console to be a specific color to play games on it, and gamers can customize their consoles if they wanted to by themselves. It's an issue because it ties into the PlayStation 5 Pro's steep asking price, aggravating gamers who feel they were priced out even more. And it is arguably an issue that Sony created themselves, choosing to do things like selling a vertical stand for the console separately. Sony did share an official statement regarding this issue to IGN. PS5 console covers are not compatible with PS5 Pro. However, players will be able to swap out different console covers for PS5 Pro when they become available in the future. Sony's wording suggests that they will make a completely different set of PlayStation 5 Pro cover plates. We hope they can come up with new designs that work across different models, because this seems needlessly wasteful to the environment, and also just creates more consumer friction. In any case, for those of you who could afford and did buy a PlayStation 5 Pro, Sony has promised compatible plates in the future. For what it's worth, Dbrand did risk litigation to make third-party PlayStation 5 covers, dubbed dark plates, but they also don't seem to have one ready for the PlayStation 5 Pro either. So maybe this will be a race for consumers between Sony and accessory makers now. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered reviews are in, and people are liking it. So, Ali Jones from Games Radar had some serious doubts about Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. He felt it didn't need to exist since the original game was already a PS4 classic, and he was skeptical about Sony focusing so much on remasters instead of new games. But after looking into it more, he's come around, especially because the upgrade fee for those who already own the original is only $10, which is pretty solid value. The remaster takes everything that was in the base game, includes the Frozen Wilds expansion, and upgrades the visuals to match the quality of Horizon Forbidden West. Here's how I see it. This remaster trend actually works out great for people who haven't played these games yet, especially those making the switch from Xbox, which we know a lot of fans are doing lately. Imagine booting up The Last of Us Part 1 or Horizon Zero Dawn for the first time and getting to experience it at peak visual quality. It's kind of the ultimate intro to what PlayStation can offer in terms of immersive storytelling and visuals. So yeah, I get why Sony is doubling down on these remasters. It lets newcomers see these games at their absolute best. But I'm totally with you. It's about time we get some fresh stuff too. Here's hoping 2025 delivers with some new titles that blow us away. So there's been a lot happening with PlayStation lately, and Variety has a great article breaking down some big moves and insights from PlayStation leaders Herman Hulst and Hideaki Nishino. Definitely worth a read if you're interested in where Sony is heading. First off, it's a bit of a turbulent time for PlayStation. Earlier this year, there were over 200 layoffs at Bungie, one of their key studios, and they recently shut down Concord, a live service game that barely made it a month after launching in August. PlayStation also closed down 2 studios behind the game, Firewalk, which developed Concord, and Neon Koi, their mobile-focused brand. And fans had some complaints about the price of the upcoming PS5 Pro, but it's not all bad news. PlayStation has had some recent successes too. Their new platformer Astro Bot is getting a lot of praise, and fans are really excited about Ghost of Yotei, the upcoming sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Plus, with the HBO series The Last of Us coming back for a second season and Amazon working on a God of War series, Sony has a lot of buzz around its franchises beyond just the games. Hulst and Nishino have adopted a show, don't tell approach to leading PlayStation. Hulst says, "It's important we convey our strategy, but at the end of the day, I am with the creators a big chunk of time." Nishino added, "To me, the product, the content, it should be the forward-facing things. Behind the scenes, who is the guy doing it? It doesn't matter." This low-profile leadership style seems to align with their belief that the games themselves should do most of the talking. There's also some interesting talk about the PS5 Pro. Nishino shared that Sony actually started working on the PS5 Pro before the PS5 even launched. They learned from their experience with the PS4 Pro, where about 20% of PS4 owners chose the higher-end version. Nishino explained Sony's vision, saying, "There are technologies we can grow up in 3 years' time or 5 years' time, so the innovation and technology advancement is more quicker in a modern world." He also made it clear that the PS5 Pro isn't the next-gen console. It's an upgrade within the PS5 generation for those who want a more high-end experience. Holst also talked about how their game studios love working with new hardware and are often involved early on in designing it. He said, "The teams love tinkering with the hardware. It's very much that symbiosis of, on the hardware side, what can you guys do with it? And here's the feedback." This close collaboration helps set a high-quality standard for PlayStation's exclusives and inspires third-party developers to make the most of the hardware too. When asked about their approach to adapting games into other media, like TV shows, Holst explained how The Last of Us HBO series taught them a lot. He said, "We learned a lot. It's really important to involve the original creators to ensure that your experience remains very authentic." They're planning to be even more careful with these adaptations, aiming for meticulous franchise management, so we can probably expect more well-made adaptations in the future.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Let's talk about GTA 6 for the last time because you guys are just quoting nonsense to me. You have no idea how many BS articles I go through every day to bring accurate information and how many clickbait articles I click on just to read the same generic ChatGPT style BS article. PS5 Pro's super secret feature that Sony is hiding from you. You know what I find in this article? PS5 Pro doesn't have a disk drive. PS5 Pro has 2 terabytes. It releases on the 7th of November. Fans are angry. And it's understandable. There are new games confirmed, blah blah blah. Insert digital Foundry statement paragraph. Oh, and then there's some speculative statement about the title of the article, ending with, "Whatever the case, fans are waiting with bated breath." Now, somebody said that Rockstar confirmed GTA 6 is going to be 30 FPS. I see this going around a lot, but it's not true. Rockstar never made that statement. You know where it all started? Go search GTA 630 FPS 5 on Google. You're going to find dozens of articles quoting Richard from Digital Foundry making that statement. The day he made that statement, I pushed back, but outlets like IGN and big YouTubers ran with it. Now, I see people in the comments saying, "DF said this," and "DF said that." And I see both sides using DF's words. Console gamers using it as a defense, and PC gamers using it as a weapon. But what people fail to understand is that the narrative about GTA 6 being 30 FPS and CPU bottlenecks got so out of control and was taken as fact to the point that even DF had to clarify. They had to come out and say, "Listen, we sometimes say stuff, and sometimes an opinion gets taken as fact. And articles and videos are made about it." I'm paraphrasing here, but that's the gist of it. Then they went on to say, "We just don't know."
Oh shit, Here we go again.
Here's my last and final statement on GTA 6, as simply as I can put it. 10 years of development, over a $2 billion budget, a marketing deal with Sony. They want a minimum of $80 to $100 for the base game. Gamers today will look for any excuse to be angry. Developers and publishers are worried. The don't like, don't buy it curse is real. With all these factors in mind, GTA 6 will be 60 FPS, even on the Nintendo Switch. They need to make GTA 6 run at 4K 60 on my PS4 Slim for the $100 asking price and a $2 billion budget. But I'm fine with PS5/PS5 Pro optimizations. I really don't understand what's so hard to believe. People just aren't buying 30 FPS games on consoles anymore. And if you can't even process the part where I'm clearly joking here, then we have nothing more to discuss. I made a 36-minute video on GTA 6 if you want to check it out. The next thing I want to address is this. Someone asked, if your predictions are so accurate, why doesn't anyone quote you? My answer is, they have quoted me. I've found websites stripping content from my videos without giving me any credit. As a smaller YouTuber, people think they can just take my work. Sure, I reference articles, but I give proper credit, dissect the content, and share why I agree or disagree, adding my own predictions on top of that. Another funny thing, when the PS5 Pro was announced, everyone bashed it for the price. I felt like I was the only one calling it a beast and saying it was worth it. I even warned people 6 months prior that it was going to cost $700, but I got disliked into oblivion for it. And what happened after? Other YouTubers eventually changed their stance, and suddenly I saw titles like PS5 Pro is a beast. But I went through the trenches to defend that point. So whenever you see a video titled PS5 Pro is a beast, and so on, think Credit Daily Hub ranks. That's it for today. See y'all tomorrow.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.